I've never done this before. Very new here. Hello. How's it going? Never done this before, but I figured it might be fun. I was watching another ceramic artist the other day and she went live and I was like, oh, this is great. I'm not talking into the void. There's actually someone listening. Today I am feeling much better. Yesterday I was not feeling great and I am working on some little espresso cups. I cut out some templates to slab build some, so I rolled some out, but I just have this thing, if I have extra clay, I like have to, it's like a game, like how can I make something out of this tiny little bit of clay, which is how I made this the other day. It's so silly, but I want to make more, just a little bit bigger, because I've been selling my stuff at a coffee shop and the espresso cups have been selling well, so I thought it would be cool to give one of these to the coffee shop to like actually use to pull the shots and then sell them on the shelves. And hand building just feels like playing, so here I am playing for the morning. Hope everyone's having a nice Friday. And yeah, I hope it works out. I figured it's an easy way to make hand build things and have them all, sorry, I like totally lost my train of thought, have them all be a little bit different. And because I still feel like I haven't fully developed my hand built style, because I've been a thrower for so long. But honestly, yeah, this process just feels like playing with clay. Very pure. Even though I can't wait to get back on my wheel. But not just yet. Hello and happy Friday. Thanks for stopping by. Hopefully this is fun. Oh, I mean, the wheel is so much harder than hand building. I feel like hand building is hard because the patience aspect of it, which I guess is on the wheel too, but like timing is everything when the clay, when you're like molding it. So if it's like too hard, not happening. Too soft, your piece is just gonna fall apart. Or if you don't attach things right, you get cracks everywhere. And so I'm learning how to be patient in this way. I had a really hard time learning how to do the wheel. I feel like the only way I was able to get better was actually like throwing every day, which you can't do when you take a class. Anytime I took my class, it was like something would click like just as I needed to start cleaning up. So then I would come back the next week and not be able to do anything because of where I left off last time. I basically had to start back from scratch. But I do love the ability to like zone in when I'm at the wheel. It just feels different from this process. They both have their pros and cons. And I'm learning. This would probably be more exciting if I was throwing, but can't hang with the wheel just yet. Learning my new post-surgery limits, and it's been a harder process than I would like to admit. How's everyone's Friday? What are we working on? What's happening? It feels silly just talking to my iPad, which, yeah, sorry, it's not the most high quality, but we're here. I like don't understand how to do this thing. Web developer. That's cool. My husband almost he got into the whole developing world, but he decided that it wasn't for him, at least the web part. I think he wants to do more of like the cybersecurity, that kind of energy. Do you like design websites? I feel like every time I hear the term web developer, I'm like, I've just learned there's so many different ways to be a developer. Also curious where everyone is at in the world. I'm in very hot Florida. And can't wait for autumn. Don't know about y'all. This is good. What you don't know is that I like had this thing on for like, I don't know, probably like 15 minutes only to realize that I didn't actually go live. Or like I did, but it was on like private. So that was funny. Glad I didn't do that for an hour. That would be silly. Where? I don't remember what I was gonna say. I think I prefer working with slabs versus pinching. Maybe it's because I can get a closer, or I can be more like what I'm doing when I'm throwing on my wheel. if I make a slab, because I do like the look of that. And I don't know where, there's, in case you thought my apartment like looked bigger in my videos, like it's, I can almost touch my desk from here, so it is not big at all, but I love it so much. 9 by I'm honestly, for whatever reason, they like don't keep the chat thing live. Fades away. Yes, I am so grateful. I love this place so much. And honestly, even just the location, like in the building where we are, like the fact that I, outside our front door, have like a little extra space. Like even if we were on the other side, like I wouldn't have a little nook to put all my actual like clay bags and all the extra stuff that I don't use and don't want in my apartment all the time out there. And that's where like everything is drying. And it's nice to have a little bit of separation. And we also just like don't use this table. We stopped using it before I started, but we honestly just eat dinner on the couch, so I've been able to occupy this little corner, which I know one day I will look back on so fondly and honestly probably miss being here, because this is where it all began. I definitely hope that these all turn out. I think I'm going to carve them. I just love carving things so much. I don't know why. I also need to figure out what I'm going to do for my subscription. I think I have 2 more gifts left. And since I have been not doing anything, I need to make something now. I send it out every quarter, and so I think October is when they should get the next gift, and then December is the final one, and then I'll launch it again to see who signs up at the end of the year. I had somebody ask the other day if they could sign up for my quarterly subscription, but I only do the signups once a year because it's just easier that way, and I don't have to keep track of who started when. It's just everybody starts at the same time, so I know how many members I have and how much I need to make for the year. And this year I had 10 members, which is very cool. And that was my goal, actually. So grateful for that. We'll see what next year holds. I honestly would love if that took up a chunk of my time, since it's guaranteed. And I just made it so I can make whatever I want. Yeah, it would have gone crazy if somebody signed up in March, and so it's okay, well, you get 3 things, and yeah. I can't do it. I'm sure it probably isn't that complicated, but for me it felt very complicated, so I just let that go. And yeah, I think last year I launched it in November, or maybe at the beginning of December, so that people could gift it to somebody if they wanted. for Christmas, and I sent out like a little tiny gift in January just to be like, hey, it's coming in March. And then yeah, that's been really fun. I can't decide on what to make. Even though I had like plans, I always change my mind because past Jamie doesn't always know what future Jamie is vibing with. And yeah, I wish everyone could do this. It's just so satisfying. So far, here we have some little Spro Bros that will get carved here soon. I can make it a little smaller. Honestly, hand building feels like just one big experiment for me. I made a lot of fun stuff that is drying, and honestly the hardest part of living here is that I have to like transport all my things to the kiln, and the drier that they get, the scarier the transport process gets because they're just so much more fragile once they have less water in them. So I'm a little scared that some of the bigger things that I made, like, don't know if you can hear that, don't know what my neighbor is doing outside. Some of the bigger things that I made, if they get too dry, it would just be really sad if they cracked. Like, not drop it. I have a breakfast tray that I made myself so that when I eat breakfast during recovery it was cute. So I made another one, and I just driving with this in the car along with a bunch of other stuff is scary. Thank you. I made 2 of them and I plan to make more, but I just don't want to make more and have to like transport like 6 of them at a time, you know? So that is why I decided to work on smaller things now so that I don't have to worry about breaking anything, because these little guys will be so fine. So fine. Try a little. So for this little thing, I literally was making the handles for that tray, and I just had the tiniest lump of clay left over, and probably about this much. But now I'm gonna try. Apologies. Oh, that's not a silly question at all. Basically, I've had it sitting over there with like stuff on it so that it won't warp now, and to prevent warping, you kind of just have to keep the clay like compressed and flat the whole time that you're making it, and because the clay will want to naturally like go back to how it was, so the sides will like warp even before you get it in the kiln. And so for that, if I just keep it flat and like have something on it while it's drying, it should not warp. And there are a bunch of like other things you can do to prevent it, like just don't mess with it that much, don't be like flipping it up and down and all that stuff. And I feel like I've only had issues warping if something was like too thin, or if something was like overfired, or if I just messed with it too much in the process and didn't have something pressing on it. Like at the end of every day, I'll like put my water bucket and like a bag of clay on it so that it will like flatten out. Some people use like rice bags because the rice will like absorb the moisture, like rice and like canvas, to set on there. It doesn't need like a crazy amount of pressure, but I think it just needs to know that we're gonna lie down flat now and not go back to being a ball of clay. If that makes sense. I also am kind of just as you can see, a wing it kind of girl. So I have had some things warp that still, actually I had a cup that did it really bad, and I think it was because it got overfired and it was too thin. Like, perfectly fine cup, but if you look at it, kind of hard to tell, but it's like not a circle. Like this part just kind of like clunked down. So it's still like totally usable. It just is kind of like oblong. So I like didn't want to put it in my, or I put it in my online store, but definitely photographed it. Because like if you don't care about, like I don't really care that much, but I don't want somebody who's expecting a perfectly round cup to get a not perfectly round cup. So yeah, sometimes it just doesn't work. But I'm hoping with those that they stay pretty flat. The last one I made, which is in comparison to that, not as like fine-tuned, which only, that's the only case because I made it for myself, but it's very it's pretty wonky, but it's still really flat. But I just curled the edges up. But on that one I also added little coaster feet. On that one I added walls, and I made the handles thicker, and I made it wider. As much as I like how petite this is, sometimes the things that I put on there, even if it's just a cup and a bowl, is too small, and or they're just like too close together. And I want it to be like just a smidge bigger, which is gonna shrink a lot in the kiln. So I had to account for that size-wise, but yeah, this is what made that happen. And I'm hoping to make a little set of like a tray, a bowl, a cup, and maybe a little espresso cup or a little dish. Oh yeah, I mean, clay is intimidating. There's like 10,000 steps to every process, but I feel like as intimidating as it is, it's that much fun. I don't even know how to say what I'm saying, but yeah, once you get into it, it gets a little less scary, or everything seems a little less scary, which I guess is like true for most crafts or hobbies. There's just so much you can easily figure out. Also, attempting to film this as well. Yeah, it's nice that I can finally get back to documenting my actual work and not just what I'm doing at home. As much as I love chilling here, I like just the process of filming my process. So yeah, this will also be in a vlog here soon, and maybe I'll do this more if that sounds fun. I said I wanted to make these all different, and I'm making them all the same. I guess having a little set is cute too. Does anybody here actually make ceramics or play with clay on the reg? Like, don't actually follow my lead for hand building techniques, lol. Just not making it up as I go, but I tend to just be an intuitive kind of person, so I just go for it. I'm not extremely calculated. isn't apparent already. Once I go through all of this clay, then I'm going to, which you can't even see it, there's like giant slabs of clay that I'm going to get through and then hopefully get to throwing. Oh my gosh, that's amazing. Polymer clay is great. I honestly was watching something the other day where someone was using air dry clay to make some cute stuff, and it definitely inspired me. There's just, I love that it's so much fun. It's so much work as far as the steps to the process. But very rewarding at the end, because now I get to have breakfast on my cute little tray every morning, and I can do that for as long as I want. Ceramics never die, and that is amazing to me. Don't mind me multitasking. Time to sit. I'm trying not to completely wear myself out every day. So yesterday was my rest day, and today we're back at it. And it's nice to feel good. Thank you guys for hanging out. I really didn't know what to expect. Because I've never done this before. But so far, we've got, I need to fix this one. That one's gonna be cute. It was just a little too floppy for me to work with, but I'm learning that sometimes instead of like pushing through. Yeah, healing is quite the journey. I feel like this week have been better at being patient with myself than I have been in the previous weeks. I'm on week 7, so next week I have like my 2-month follow-up, which I'm excited for, just because I don't know how I'm supposed to feel at this point. So it will be nice to have someone either validate or tell me what is going on and how to explain, or just have someone explain like, yeah, this should be happening, this shouldn't, or like you're probably gonna feel like this for a little while. So I think just not knowing what is not appropriate or just what is the norm for this stage is hard. And yeah, just when I think that I'm fine, I have like a day where I like can't hang. Like yesterday I was in bed 90% of the day just reading and lying down because I was just in pain. And as much as I love medicine, I'm not trying to like make myself suffer, but I don't want to take like 500 or a gram of Tylenol every day to like feel better, because it doesn't like hurt that much. I don't even know how to explain it. It just feels like I got a bruise on my stomach and my muscles are just like tired and sore. So I think that I like can't like sit like this for like too long, so or stand for too long. And walking has been helpful, but sometimes, or I've noticed that on the days that I walk, like the day after is usually the day that I have to rest. And yeah, that's a bummer, because I like don't just want to like sit all day. And not because like I like am antsy, but I just like taking a walk. Like I don't want to stay inside when I could be just strolling and healing that way. But you know, the body wants what it wants, and right now it wants me to not walk every single day for 30 plus minutes. And it's also so hot outside, so I think that in combination with where I'm at in the process just hasn't led to me feeling very good after I take a stroll. So thanks for asking. I feel good today, so I'm just writing that. And hoping that it's only up from here. Yeah, 7 weeks is a very long time to stay inside. Even when it is hot outside, I'm like, okay, I love my apartment and I am a hermit, but I don't want to be a hermit all the time. And yeah, it's not always the most fun to just sit, even though I have been able to like read a lot and that's been fun. Yeah, it's a process, as is everything, but some days it's just a harder process than other days. We've got 3 down. I somehow keep making them a little bit taller each time. I need one of those banding wheels now that I'm doing this so often, because having it up here much better for my neck than what I'm currently doing. But I do love that I don't really need anything to hand build. And again, it's so much less messier than freaking throwing, man. I hate cleaning my wheel, and I like can't let it sit because it's in my living room, so I'm not trying to have a bunch of dried clay hanging out. And I also just don't even think I could just leave it all there. I know a lot of people can, but that's not me. I love coming back to a clean wheel, starting from scratch. Now it just feels like I'm like working at the community studio, even though I haven't been there in forever. I had a membership last year, earlier this year. Who even knows? But I just hated transporting all of my work, and I think I was making too much stuff for me to like justify leaving it there and having it dry, because shelf space for like other people, not trying to monopolize that. So yeah, I had to call it quits on that one. But even when I was there, it was hard for me to like engage, because I'm like here trying to work essentially. So some days it felt like too much, like going into like an office job. I would assume it's like I just want to get my job done, not chat all day or get interrupted. But this is nice. Yeah, the next thing that I have to plan for is the holidays, which is wild, because I guess it's September, but I gotta start now so that I can actually enjoy the holidays and not be like making all December long. The goal is to have everything done by December so that I can just sell and chill. But we'll see if my body wants that to happen. Whatever she wants, she gets. is fun. Is it everyone's Friday? Or do some people work on the weekend? Oh, Laura. Hi, Laura. I just read. What did I just read? 3 Summers by Margaret Liberace. She she is the book was like written in like 1940, and this lady Karen Van something translated it, but it's just like the setting is so dreamy. It's all based in Greece. She was from Greece, and it's like outside of Athens in this really cozy little quaint town, but it's just about 3 sisters and their relationship and all during the summer and just growing up, and like it's kind of like coming of age, but it was interesting to me because just knowing that this was written in like 1940, and yeah, so just like popping myself into that reality while reading it was very fun. And it was so poetic, and just the scenes that she would paint of like the their house where they lived on the coast, and just their like everyday little simple things like their grandfather having a garden, and yeah, all that vibe was really, really cute. So would recommend that. And what was the last thing I read? I just finished the book The Friend by Sigrid Nuez. Is that how you say it? It was very sad, but it was very sweet. It's kind of like stream of consciousness written. Her. I'm trying to find the photo. Thank you. Yeah, it's about a little doggo. Wow, that like goes on forever. The reflection. Very sad, but very sweet, and just basically shows how amazing dogs are and how helpful they can be in the healing process, in the grieving process of losing someone. And it was so short and so easy. Would rec. I have so many books in Libby that I can't read yet because everybody else wants to read them. And now I'm just in between. So hopefully those will be coming soon. But very glad to have read those ones. They fit the summer vibe. And I love reading books that the Sigrid yeah, Libby is, I love you, Libby, but there's just never enough copies. Never. The book, the dog book, the girl is, like the person who's writing is also a writer. And so I feel like whenever books are about like the publishing world and like writing, I just learned so much about that world, and then they always reference so many like big books like that inspired them. And I feel like in this one there were so many lines and quotes that she was using to, like the narrator was using to like explain stuff in her experience about her friend, that made me want to read those books. And I think that's cool, because I don't really know a lot of books, but I feel like I'm new to the world, so whenever I hear something, I want to research, find a new favorite book. What's everyone's favorite book? Ooh. That's a big question that I don't even know that I can answer. If you even like reading? Lord of the Rings. Oh my goodness, I almost that was one that I was going to read because I've never read it and I want to read it. And I think it was Laura, I knew that. That's such a good book. Yeah. Lord of the Rings, I don't know why. One of my friends was talking about it and I was like, I should read that. The Shadow of the Wind. Wow, what a name. Carlos Ruiz Zafran. That's fun. I'll add that to my list as well. Yeah, I honestly will take any recommendation. Because like I said, I'm very new to the game. So if you guys have any book recs, I could barely say that. Do you like how I'm making sure these are at the same size? Let me know. Because I'm always down for a good read. Yeah, I was amazed reading this book, just knowing that, like, the work that must have gone into, like, because some of the sentences, just the structure of them, like, in English, it's, like, complex and beautiful, so I can only imagine how much you have to know and understand the language. Oh my gosh, that's what she does? That's amazing! Yeah, just how much you have to like understand the language in order to do it, like, and the like nuance of it. Whoa. Yeah, that's crazy. I just downloaded an app called Mango, which apparently if you have a library card, you can like sign up for free. And I've been learning how to speak French and I am just amazed at like how it will be like, this is, you're literally saying like, hold it, but that's how they're like, how are you doing? And so it's those kind of like little nuances that are crazy that I can't imagine translating a book. Or like in France we say this in public and this with strangers, or like we say it this way for one thing and this way. Like I think ça va also means I'm fine and how are you, but it just like depends on the conversation. So I can't imagine having to translate that for an entire novel. This did not work. Like that's so many words. But I can't believe she does that for a living. That is so freaking cool. They're so cute. Do you know, wait, do you know how many or what the languages she knows? That wasn't a proper question. What languages of the 7, like, do you know what they are? Because that is a lot. Yeah, Babel was, oh, Babel was a long one. But I listened to it. Also, Laura recommended me that book. And I didn't actually read it. I can only imagine the challenge that it was to read it. But that was also an amazing book on language. And that excited me as well. language is just so cool. And now, just even though I'm just like learning French for fun, it's cool to see the like, yeah. I mean, one, they talk so fast, and two, there's just so much nuance in language. As we all know, American is crazy. Whoa, German and Polish? That's wild. I wish that was possible for my brain right now. How cool is that? I would love to be able to like travel to different places and not be a dumb American and not know what's going on. We're not dum-dums, but you know, people come to our country and know our language, so it's like I want to go to their country and know their language. Some of this is getting a little too dry. Yeah, I guess that's true. I wouldn't blame them either. I took German in like 6th or 7th grade. Yeah, but obviously I don't remember any now. I know fünf is 5, maybe. That's all I got. Why that's the one thing I remember. I will never know. Raising this table up was the best thing that I ever did. Often when I stand here, I can't believe that there was a time where I worked on it, not on risers, and it was probably, I don't know, I would probably have to go this in order to actually get something done. Which is not good for my precious little back. Here's hoping these work. I actually kind of got distracted. It seems I was supposed to make a bunch of slabs and let them dry and then do the pinch method for the cups, but I've enjoyed the slab method a little too much, it seems. Awesome. Oh my god, it's so meditative. It honestly just feels like playing with Play-Doh, which is a great experience. Which is why I forgot that I had a whole other plan for myself right now. That's all right. I've made 2, which I don't remember if I said this already, but I had started this and for like 15 minutes it was going, but it was on private, so nobody saw it, and I didn't realize it until after like 15 minutes. I looked and I was like, oh, that's weird. Like, it's crazy that nobody's seen it. Not that I was expecting millions of people to show up, but yeah, I had made some slabs. Oh, cute. Cappuccino, anyone? Cortado, anyone? Matcha. They've been drying. Add these to that. Yeah, I'm a little chaotic when I work because I don't have a ridiculous amount of room, but I'm learning. I think in my next video, I got this new board. Before I was using like 2 drawing boards, which was not helpful, and they like warped because they weren't meant to be doing what I was doing with them, especially for not how long I was doing that. And I got those smaller like wear boards, which has helped me so much in being able to clear off my table while I'm working, so that I only have what I need on there, instead of having stuff that I'm like drawing take up space. Even though this board is like the same material as they use to make bats that you put your pieces on when you're at the wheel, and so it's great, but I think I should still just get a giant slab of wood instead. But for now, this has been great and easy to use. Sorry if it's shaking. I also, on that day, got these guys to help me be a better replicator as far as hand building goes. In the past, since I don't really hand build a lot, I would just roll it out till I felt like it was fine. So sometimes it would be uneven, and now that I have these, they like stop it from being uneven, which is like a very basic tool to get, but I just didn't really need it. But now that I'm doing this more, it's been very helpful, especially making the trays, because that way they stay the same width, so there's less like warp happening. And honestly, this is my workout for today. Don't need to take a walk when I can just roll out a really long slab. And hopefully, like I mentioned, I can fire the kiln next week. Which would be crazy because it's been since like May. And I think I'll finally have enough pieces after I finish these up. Can't wait to fill my car with a bunch of breakables that I will be sad if they get broken after all this lovely work. But you know, that is just a part of it. So little. Wow, it's almost been an hour. That's crazy. I cut these little templates out yesterday so that everything Doesn't always have to be a guessing game. As much as I love winging it. Can you even see that? Mm-hmm. Honestly, I could probably make these thinner, but I am gonna carve them. I think I saw that. Oh, fun. Yeah, I normally do post on Friday. But I obviously have been out of it. Out of the game. So now I just post when I can, but that's why I figured I could do this instead. As if I made a vlog. But not. But hopefully now that I'm back to making, I can get back to it. Or at least I plan to. That's awesome. I definitely don't know how I actually keep up with making videos every week. I think it's probably because the same time I started pottery, was the same time I started YouTube, so it's just like a part of my process. Like right now, I've been recording some. So it's easy for me to have it just not feel like, I don't know, recording it is just a part of it. It's not like an add-on. Just like I would clean up my wheel, I would document my process. Because I came on to YouTube to have a cute little log of everything. And it's nice for me even now to be like, what was I doing last August? Even though this one I'm not doing anything. So it's cool. It feels like a scrapbook of sorts. And I really like that. Okay, this time this method is gonna work. I'm just shocked that anybody is even here, so thanks. Thanks for chilling. It does make the day pass. Or, I don't know, normally I either just listen to the sounds of me making, or I put on a podcast, or music, and do we like that? Sorry, just totally distracted myself. Yeah, normally I just listen to music, or nothing, or I'll put on a show, and this feels much better than that. So I'm glad it all worked out. Even though I spent 20 minutes on private, unaware. You all should really try this. It's so satisfying. Does anybody have any good music recs? That's a good question. because I'm always looking for things to listen to when I do listen to music. I'm very much a person that just listens to the same stuff. I don't often find new music. Or if I do, it's because my husband is actually really into music and is so good at finding all sorts of things. I mean, YouTube is amazing. I do definitely watch YouTube a lot while I'm working. Especially like other artists. Like lately, yeah, Lori, give me the reps. I need the fresh jams. Lately, it's been nice to watch other people throwing. Even though I can't throw, it's been very satisfying. Kind of helps build the void, I guess, of me not throwing right now. These are really all going to be their own little vibe. And we like that. Oh, I feel like I've listened to it before. Yeah, my goodness. My like Spotify top now is probably the same as it was 10 years ago, which is funny. Opera, I can get behind that. That sounds fun. Yeah, I need to listen again. It's been a minute. I also keep forgetting that my camera's recording, so I'm just gonna have like 20-minute videos of me doing this, which I guess is fine. It's too big. I'm not as good as replicating as I want to be. So all of these are going to be a little different. I think it's much easier for me to replicate on the wheel than it is in this way. Which I guess is like not the point of hand building, but the beauty of it is that they are all a little bit different. And not that I want them identical, but would at least like them to hold a similar amount of liquid. I also realized today how much of my work is really just one of a kind. I repeat a lot of forms, but most often the designs are different. Why won't it just stay visible? Oh, fun! That is great to know. I honestly will probably put this on, or put that on today. Give it a whirl. Thanks, guys. That was great. These are going to be so silly. Oh, thank you. Yeah. I think it's just fun to have something just be once. Feel like we're all evolving humans, and kind of nice to have my work match my current state in that moment, or who I was then. And so that's kind of what it feels like. That every little piece is just a reflection of me at that time. And that's all it needs to be. And I can do it again if I want, or I don't have to. Because some things I really enjoy making, well, pretty much, I don't think I have a thing right now that I hate making. Really, for me right now, it's just the cleanup process that I hate. I think like I mentioned in my last video, I just started from a point of making whatever I wanted. So that has remained. So it's easy to just let things come and go and not feel like I have to keep repeating. Feels more fun right now, at least. Maybe one day I'll be like, this is all I make. But as an artist, I don't think anybody does that. Even like with music, people's vibes and stuff change over time because we're human. So I would love if every collection I make is just a little bit different than the last. But they're all still connected. All right. Cuties. Espresso, anyone? There. Hand rolling is funny because when they're in this state, they're just like so floppy. It's like, how is that gonna hold anything? I will definitely fine tune them and carve them and probably give them a cute little foot like I did on this one. I should do that now. Oh, hey iPad. Getting tired. Yeah, I didn't use my phone, I used my iPad, which is funny. But simply because, oh, that would be so... Okay, well, I have to do that. In case you're wondering my creative process as well. My iPad so I could see what people were saying over my phone and its tiny baby screen. What time is it actually? Oh, wow. Well, it's 10:30. I do have to go. One, because my iPad's about to die. And two, because I need to eat something again. And three, because two of my friends who don't live here, one of my old coworkers and actually both old coworkers, we're having a little call because we all run our own small businesses, and we used to chat a lot, like just at the end of the pandemic, like in 2021, which was around when I started. We would try and call like every few months, and we're doing that again for the first time in a very long time. So I need to eat and then do that. But I'm gonna add some feet to these. If we think that's a good idea, I think we do. Which I'm basically, oh, thanks Laura, I'm so glad you could be here. I'll do this again soon. This was very fun for me as well. And that's how you make a foot. Oops. That's going to be so precious. I'm so excited. That's silly. Wow, it's kind of nice that I actually finished something in this time. And now I can add the length of this video to my toggle on how long it took me to make 4 cups and 6 slabs. Yeah, you'll see these very soon. Hopefully they will get fired here in a minute. But thank you again. I can't believe it's been apparently 70 minutes of fun. I will do this again soon. Maybe I'll make it my Friday thing. Yeah. Thanks, guys. Farewell. Bonsoir. That's good night. Goodbye.